Yeah, I know my economic videos are really boring. Probably it's not going to get a lot of views, but I really want to get this off my chest to at least educate some people and make me feel like I'm a social justice activist. But unlike social justice activists, I don't say, oh, it's not my job to educate you. Okay, no, it is my job to educate you, okay? You're going to be so wise after watching this video, your mind is going to blow. So, let's talk about some very simple concepts. Now, everyone knows that when the government prints money, it leads to inflation. Okay, like everyone understands that. But why does it lead to inflation? Okay, why do prices go up? Has anyone told you that? Like, do you know? Because it's not like the government prints money and then all of the business owners go like, why, yes, hello, who is there? Oh, I am the business owner. Did you know that the government printed money? We can raise our prices now. Because we're greedy capitalists. We're going to take advantage of the consumer. We're going to be the new succubus, okay? Like, they suck, they buy. No, okay? That doesn't happen. What happens is when the government prints money, as I mentioned in the previous video, the government does not print stuff. So, people now have more money to spend. People buy more, but because the government did not print more stuff, now you have shortages. So, in a totalitarian system, when you have shortages, you can put rations on people. So you can force people, for example, you're not allowed to buy more than 5 liters of gas per month. You have a ration, so you need to comply. Like, even if you have money for more than 5 liters, you're not going to get that. You're not allowed to buy more than 20 loaves of bread per month, right? That is how a totalitarian system fixes the problem with shortages. It puts rations on people. In a free market economy, the way the system fixes the problem is it raises the prices. So when the price is raised, well, now people can't afford the stuff unless they desperately need it. So normally you would like to have 3 meals a day. Well, now there's inflation, so prices are up. Well, you can't have 3 meals a day. You're going to have 1. Why? Because there's not enough meals to go around for everyone if everyone has 3 meals a day. Does that make sense? So which one do you think is better? The free market solution where, like people who really want something, they're going to make a sacrifice to buy it and they will pay more? Or do you like rations? Because those are the two alternatives. Or, well, the third alternative is that there's empty shelves everywhere. And then people riot because they can't buy food. So I guess that's the third option of what would happen if prices don't go up and what would happen if the government doesn't ration. But that never happens because usually one or the two happens, right? Like either the prices go up or the government decides to step in. Now, I want to talk about historically what has happened every single time you have inflation. And you can check this out in every single country where you have hyperinflation throughout human history, no exception. So number one, there is a crisis which makes the government in debt. Like, for example, Germany after World War I. They now have to pay a lot of reparations to the Allied nations. So the government is in debt. The government decides to print money. When the government prints money, as I mentioned, now people are going to buy a lot of stuff. They're going to buy a lot of goods. But the government did not print goods. So now you have empty shelves. Prices go up. The government then blames the private sector for being too greedy. But when you think about it, like if you're a baker in the private sector and you bake bread, are you greedy if you make the bread more expensive? I mean, even if you wanted to keep the bread at the same price, what happens is that you need to buy flour, you need to pay the workers, you need to pay for electricity, and all of these things go up. So it's not that you're greedy, you're just adjusting to the economy if you want to stay in business. Because at the end of the day, like, if money doesn't come in, you can't pay your workers. If you can't pay your workers, then you can't buy the stuff required to make bread. Well, you're going out of a business. So the companies aren't greedy for raising the prices. The companies raise the price in order to survive because the government printed too much money. And of course, the politicians know this. Economists know this. But whenever they are telling you that the private sector is greedy, they are misinforming you so that they deflect the blame. The politician doesn't want to be blamed for inflation. The politician doesn't want to take responsibility for inflation. No, I mean, he fucked the economy. He doesn't want to be a part of the economy now. He wants to remain in his politician seat and get more taxpayer money to pay for his wage, for his benefits, and for his privileges. So the politicians want to maintain power, especially now that the economy is fucked. They don't want to be like the normal person. They don't want to deal with the stuff you're dealing with, right? So he's going to blame the private sector. And of course, he's going to come up with the solution. And just like Germany did after First World War, just like the Soviet Union did, just like every other country that dealt with hyperinflation did, the solution is always to control the prices. So surely you can just control the price, right? I mean, why not? Now, this is something that happened in the early stages of human history. The Catholic Church came up with the concept of the fair price, and they destroyed that economy. And it's exactly what happens whenever the government wants to, quote-unquote, control the price. Because what happens when the government wants to control the price is, as I mentioned before, you get shortages. This is one of the reasons why in the Soviet Union you saw like empty shelves everywhere. When you control the price, you need to take the money out of the equation, okay? Like money is just an intermediary to explain what the economy happens the way it does. But in reality, it's like people go buy bread, but there isn't enough bread to buy. So the first people that manage to go to the store, they get their bread. But the ones coming afterwards, they find empty shelves. Now, if the price was higher, well, maybe some people who don't need bread that day, maybe they had the bread yesterday. Again, like there's not enough bread to go around. That's the major issue. Like not every single person can get bread. Why? Well, I don't know. Maybe there was a pandemic and the government told people who contribute in making bread to stay home and stay safe. For an example. So now there's supply chain problems. There's bottlenecks. There's various issues. But the main problem is that there's not enough bread to go around. Right? So the people who get bread are the ones that are going to be lucky, and then there's going to be empty shelves for everyone else. Now the bread baker, like the baker, is going to realize, okay, well, I'm not making that much of a living doing this job. He's going to have difficulty in paying for utilities. He's going to have difficulty paying for the flour. He's going to have difficulty paying for everything else. So what the government does is now it's going to dissuade bakers from running bakeries because they set a price from which the baker can't raise. The workers are unhappy. The bread maker is unhappy, so he's just going to quit. He's going to say, well, bread making isn't a profitable business anymore because I can't make enough money to pay the bills because the government doesn't allow me to sell the product for more. So I'm going to try doing a different job. I'm going to be a chief diversity officer at a prestigious university because you can make $300,000 a month by doing that using taxpayer money. That doesn't have a set price, okay? Bread is essential. Chief diversity officers aren't essential. So now you can see the problem of what happens when governments intervene directly in the market. And throughout human history, this has happened. I mean, you can look at various countries in the world, and this is one explanation of why countries that legitimately have a free market, the people in those countries have a better lifestyle, and there's people from other countries that want to move towards those countries. Like people vote with their feet. People don't move from America to Soviet Russia. People from Soviet Russia try to escape and move to America. That is the reason. It's the quality of life. Like the quality of life improves when you leave the market the fuck alone. As much as possible. I know we don't have countries that actually leave the private market alone nowadays. But if you want the quality of living, if you want people to have a good life, then you need to leave them alone. Controlling the price is absolutely ridiculous. And the idea that the government, especially in the United States, which decided to ban the Keystone Pipeline and is now sniveling and whining about the gas prices, they are the people that are capable of fixing the problem that they created. I mean, they're the ones that printed money. They're the ones that decided to support very damaging environmental activities which messed with the economy. So the same people that ruined it should be the same people that get to fix it. And probably yes, because there's a lot of people who don't know how the economy works, who don't, like, you don't get these things being taught in school. You don't understand why these things are, and there's a lot of leftists who are like, oh, who should we blame? Of course, the private company for being greedy. Because the average Joe, he deals with the private company. He doesn't deal with the government. He doesn't actually speak with politicians, but he does go out and buy gas from the gas station. He does notice that the gas prices are up, so, clearly the gas station is the problem. And that's pretty much it. I hope most people that are subscribed to my channel at least get to see this video, because you need to be informed. And it's not that you need to be informed, you need to inform other people about why this is happening and why the government controlling the price of food and gas is a terrible idea, which has happened throughout human history, and we can actually see why it happened, how it happened, and what the effects were. So please share this video around if you're able, and I personally think that eventually the US government, given how the American people vote and what they say, yeah, it's probably going to start controlling the price of food and gas. That's my assumption. Hopefully I'm wrong. And by the way, when I say the American people, I don't mean you guys. But let's be honest, you know people in America and how they think. And probably overwhelmingly the amount of Democrats, and I wouldn't be surprised if even some centrists and right-wingers also think that, yes, the government controlling the price of food and gas is a great idea. But the problem is that by doing so, it's going to fuck the world economy. I don't have time to explain why in this video, but it's going to affect me from Romania. So that's why I care, you know? I didn't do anything. I honestly, you know, Romanians didn't do nothing. So please, don't mess up the world economy. Don't make things bad for us as well. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.